I was thinking what you were saying, the mayor was saying earlier about businesses being socially responsible. It's important for businesses like Chase, et cetera. Do you think that given how Chase and other big smart banks made some really dumb moves leading up to the financial crisis, do you think they've sort of paid their debt to society?
I don't quite know how to answer the question. You know, I wish everybody always made the investments that turned out to be great. I don't know anybody who was opposed to fueling the boom in construction and mortgage creation back then, whether it was government or the private sector, whether it was the regulators or the legislators. Everybody was there. If there's ever, there are a handful, that's not fair. There are a number of banks that really have the utmost in ethics, and I think you can certainly put JP Morgan Chase right there. I'm sure they wish that sometimes they'd gone left and gone right. Corporate philanthropy is not making up a debt to society. Corporate philanthropy is doing what's right for your stockholders and for your customers, which in the end is what's right for your stockholders. If they want to give out money to their stockholders and let their stockholders be philanthropic, that's great. But what corporations should do should be to support the communities in which their customers and their employees live. And I've always thought it is very good business. In this day and age, if you go to college campuses and try to recruit the best and the brightest, they start interviewing the company. What are you doing in terms of corporate philanthropy? What are you doing in terms of improving the environment? Young people want to work in companies that do those kinds of things. I would call it being socially responsible, but it's just good business. And that's true of the publishers of newspapers in this country, of your paper and the guy to your right. They're two guys who are very generous and understand that it's in their interest, for their families, for themselves, for their employees, for their customers, maybe, and just it's the right thing to do. It also gives you pleasure. And I'd like to think that my company is not a model, but is up there along with these other companies and doing what's right. It's interesting that around the world, private philanthropy is not necessarily viewed the same ways. There are a lot of places where they dislike private philanthropy under the argument that it takes away the responsibility of government to provide services. But America is really where private philanthropy, private meaning individuals as well as corporations, starts. And there's an awful lot of things that we do with private money which you just can't do with public monies. Just public monies, there is a level of disclosure and specificity that really doesn't fit with innovation and trying new things. You can use public monies for something that's proven. But if you want to start things, generally speaking, and there are exceptions, but generally speaking, that's where private philanthropy comes in. And that's been true from Renaissance days. I mean, you never would have had impressionists if you didn't have some people who said, I think it's art, because nobody, all the professionals, all of the scribes, all of the reporters and editorialists and op-ed writers would have castigated you. How can you say this is art? You know. Anyways.
Good answer.
All right. I owe you $5 for that lead-in. Thank you. But you're not getting the money anyways. But it is a notional $5.